My name is Brian Nylander. I was the design manager for the Challenger exterior.
My name's Jeff Gale. I was lead exterior designer on the Dodge Challenger.
What working on this car means to me is, I think back to like when I was in high school, and I remember when the Dodge Viper came out, the show car, and I remember going to the show and looking at that thinking, oh my God, this is so cool. And then of course that car comes out into production, and you see that happen and you think, man, I'd love to be a part of something like that. And then, whatever, 15 years down the road, here you are, you're involved in a project it's the same storyline. Here's our show car, and now we're putting this thing into production, and then they asked Jeff and I to work on this. And it's really, it sounds kind of cliched, but it is kind of a dream come true. It's very cool to be involved with a car like that, a very iconic car. This thing is going to be part of books and magazines for years to come. It's going to be a part of history, and just to be associated with it, to actually have helped it come to life, I think for me as a designer is this is why I came to do this job. This is why I came to Chrysler. This is why I wanted to be a designer.
We've had different projects roll through the studio, and being lucky enough to be in Studio 3 at that time, we went through Magnum and Charger and and then this vehicle, and it's just cream of the crop. What better project to work on? So as a designer, that's what's very cool, to watch that process and watch the vehicle go from clay to concept to something that we had to do in production, and that challenge that we had to produce that vehicle and have it meet its targets as far as cost and the aero targets that we had. It was a lot of fun. It was a very cool program to work on. And then again, from an enthusiast standpoint, I'm an enthusiast myself. I have an old Roadrunner myself, so it's I came at it from two ends. It's not only a dream from a designer's perspective, but from an enthusiast, you get the chance to work on the new Challenger. So it was just an awesome perspective, and two different ways for me. And just as designers, it was a hell of a lot of fun.
I think when we saw it at the show, there was a lot of excitement behind it, and we kind of sensed that, within the company that it probably was going to go into production. And being that we were part of the LX studio, we kind of sensed that maybe it'd be moving into our studio. So there was some excitement there, and I think just sensing that, it's like we were just waiting to dive into it, and it started probably, within the week after the auto show, it really took off.
Leading up to the auto show, Buzz was building around the vehicle in design office because we all knew it was coming. We had the advanced knowledge of that coming out, knowing that Mike Casti and Alan were working on the car at Pacifica. We knew that was coming, so it's like the buzz started building in within product design office, and then it came out at the show, and we saw what kind of reaction it got. It's like, oh boy, we're just chopping at the bit to get at it. So It was really exciting. There wasn't a feeling of a whole lot of pressure. At least I didn't get the sense of there being a whole lot of pressure when we got the assignment. It was one of those things. It's like, okay, guys, we have the theme already. The concept car was what we have to package over the LX platform. So we knew what we had to do. We had a theme already. We already had full-size models going. So a lot of the groundwork was laid ahead of time, and there wasn't a whole lot of shuffling around. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure on us. It was really kind of almost a hands-off approach in a way. It was obviously in the eye of everyone, but everything was there, and we just had to execute. So it was a great program.
There was an intensity there, at the beginning of the program too, because it was very much, go fast, execute the concept car. And I think as a designer, you relish that because it's a hot project. They're going to do this. You've got a clear target. You're going after it. So I think, for Jeff and I, it was like we knew what we were involved with. We were excited about it. And we were just kind of, like Jeff said, there wasn't a whole lot of hands-on, I guess, looking after us. Just run with it. Just make the concept.
The challenge is for us to get this car onto the platform and still have the right character and maintain the proportion and keep the line work and the character that that the concept had was the width of the car. When you look at the concept vehicle, it's over 4 inches wider than where the actual production car is. So just the very nature that we had to put on our production platform, make everything work and still keep the character, was one of the things that was the challenge for us, essentially. In some ways, in some people's minds, we actually made the car look better. So it was a lot of fun for us to do those things and have that challenge behind us and have that kind of carrot out in front of us of the concept car, and everybody's reaction to that car was so positive, and just having the chance to work on that car was just so exciting for us.
It only happens a few times. You look back at the Viper, the Prowler, those were show cars that were shown, and it was such good feedback when it happened that we had to do the production car. And you know, this is of the same lineage. This is one of those opportunities where here's the show car, everyone wants it, now do it. So it's, you know, it's kind of historical in some regards because of that. You know, you're going to look back on this car 10, 20 years and you're going to say this is very pure, it's very classic, it's reminiscent of the early car. There's not a lot of things that really sort of period date the car. So I think just being able to keep the car clean, I think that was a win for everyone in the corporation.
Yeah, there's no mistaking that's a Dodge Challenger.